Hi, this is Keith Frischkorn on Paranormal Things, and the first movie is very disturbing. Here it is.
Parents were out for the evening, celebrating with friends in a nearby town. That left me at my friend's house, an old, isolated place surrounded by tall trees that seemed to swallow all the light from the sky. Just getting to the house was unsettling. The long, overgrown path felt like it stretched
The
forever,
Eyes in
each
the
step
Dark.
pulling you deeper into the shadows. The house itself looked ancient, almost like something out of an old ghost story. Its windows were tall and narrow, staring down like eyes, and the wooden walls creaked even when there was no hot wind. Some kids at school said the place was haunted. They claimed it was even mentioned in a book about local ghost stories. I always thought they were exaggerating, but standing there that night, I wasn't so too sure. Inside, the atmosphere wasn't much better. The furniture was old, the walls were covered in faded wallpaper, and the dim light barely reached the corners of the rooms. It felt like the house was alive, watching us, but we tried not to think about it. My friend and I
Eyes in the
sat in the
Dark is
living
his
room,
name.
flipping through TV channels, trying to make the place feel less creepy. For a while, it worked. We laughed at a silly show, and for a moment, I almost forgot about the house's eerie reputation. But deep down, something felt off. It was the kind of quiet that didn't feel right, like the house itself was holding its breath. I didn't realize it then, but that night would change how I felt about the dark forever. We were sitting on the worn-out couch, lost in the glow of the TV when it happened. A loud crashing sound shattered the silence, echoing through the house like an
The
explosion.
Mirror in the
My
Dark.
heart skipped a beat as I froze, the sound still ringing in my ears. I looked at my friend, and his wide, panicked eyes told me he'd heard it too. Neither of us moved for a moment, the air heavy with tension. "What was that?" I finally whispered, my voice shaky. My friend didn't answer. He just stood there staring at the hallway that led deeper into the house. It was as if he was too scared to even think about what could have made the noise. I wasn't much braver. My mind raced with possibilities, but none of
The
them
mirror
made
broke on the
sense.
floor,
Maybe
all over
something
the floor.
fell. Maybe the wind knocked something over. But there was no wind tonight, and the crash sounded far too loud for something simple. The house seemed even darker now, as if the sound had sucked the little warmth out of the room. Every creak of the wooden floor beneath us felt louder, and I could hear my own heartbeat in my ears. "Should we check it out?" I asked hesitantly, not sure if I wanted to hear the answer. My friend nodded, though he looked as pale as I felt. Neither of us wanted to admit it, but we were scared, really scared. Whatever made that sound wasn't normal, and deep down, we both knew it. Still, we couldn't ignore it. Slowly, we stood up, our footsteps hesitant as we stepped into the shadowy hallway. Every instinct in my body told me to turn back, but something else, curiosity maybe, or just plenty fear of looking like a coward, pushed me forward. The crashing noise had come from somewhere upstairs, and as much as I didn't want to go there, I knew we had to. We crept down the hallway, the wooden floor creaking beneath our feet. The light from the living room grew dimmer with every step, and the shadows seemed to stretch and shift in the corners of the house. The air
Everybody
felt
knows.
colder now, almost icy, as if someone had left a window wide open. I rubbed my arms to stay warm, but the chill seemed to seep right into my skin. As we reached the base of the staircase, we stopped. Neither of us wanted to go up, but the crashing noise still echoed in our minds, urging us forward. "You go first," my friend whispered, his voice barely audible. I shook my head. "No way," I whispered back. After a few moments of silent debate, we decided to go together, step by step, trying to stay as quiet as possible. The staircase groaned with each step, the sound unnervingly loud in the stillness. When we reached the top, the freezing air hit us even harder. It wasn't just cold, it was unnatural, like stepping into a freezer. My breath came out in small, visible puffs, and I could tell my friend felt it too. His face was pale, and he kept glancing around nervously. The hallway stretched out in front of us, long and dark, with doors on either side. At the far end, one door stood slightly open, swaying just enough to make a faint creaking sound. That was where the noise had come from. We looked at each other, both too scared to speak. The door seemed to beckon us, daring us to come closer.
Still Christmas
Slowly, we
time.
started walking toward it, our footsteps hesitant and quiet. The cold breeze seemed to grow stronger the closer we got, making the hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. Every part of me screamed to turn around, to run back downstairs and wait for our parents to come home. But something kept me moving forward, step by step.
And there you have it. A disturbing sound, and a mirror taking its cousin in. Till we meet again, sleep tight.